No doubt you've seen an auctioneer at work drawing out bids higher and higher for an item for sale. That item could be a painting, a cow, even a house. So how does auctioning a house work? This is Dale Shin, LA area realtor with Coldwell Banker Realty on the Sunset Strip. In case you don't know what an auction is, it's a public sale where interested buyers bid on the item for sale until the highest bid is reached. Auctions can be exciting events where the item could sell for an astonishing figure, way above what anyone might have suspected or expected the item to sell for. And typically when an item sells at auction, it's regarded as being sold at fair market value. So auctioning a house is not very different from typical auctions for any other item. There's advanced marketing that's done to advertise the house for sale, showing pictures of it, details of the house, how many bedrooms, baths, size, area, and so on, as well as the financial terms of the auction that bidders must agree to, and of course the date and time of the auction itself. And there will probably be opportunities to preview the house, to inspect it before the auction actually begins, so that you can do your due diligence as if you want to buy the house or not. On the auction day, pre-registered bidders will show up and be given like a paddle or a number card so they can show that to the auctioneer, indicating that they are placing a bid. And the auctioneer will continue going on asking for higher and higher bids until the bidding stops and the highest bid is reached.
All right, let's open up the bidding at $395,400. 405 is
Yep.
bid, 410.
Yep.
I have 410, 415, 420. 425,000, now 430,000. 430, now 435, 440,
Yep.
back there, 445, now 450. Now 460, 460 is bid, 465. 470, 475 is bid, 480.
Yep.
480 in the back, 485, 490,000. Now 495, now 500,000 now $505,000. Now 510. Current bid is 505. We got right in front of me. 550 out there. Now $515,000. 515 current. Got to know. Going once twice. 515 is bid. Now 520. All right here together. Now 525. Now 520 is the lady in front of me right here.
Yep.
525,000. 525 is bid. Now 530,000. I have 525 bid here on my left. After 530,000 is here. Now 535,000. Current bid with the lady is 530,000. 535 going once. Anybody else at 535?
Yep.
Now 535 is now bid. Now 540,000. At 540,000 going once. Current bid of the gentleman in the white shirt here. 535 asking 540 twice. 540,000. 35 left between 540. So subject court confirmation.
Spend so, and you're holding costs.
So the only difference with auctioning a house is that you can't just load it up in your car and take it home. What you may not know is that houses are up for auction almost every day. Lenders foreclosing on a property typically have the property auctioned so that they can recover what money they loaned on the house. Houses in an estate going through the probate process, or trust sales, bankruptcy cases. Houses in those situations might also be auctioned because they offer the house to be sold at a certain or definite time. And that could be very helpful or necessary in those kind of cases. For instance, the County of Los Angeles, they will auction off properties that are in tax default, or in probate cases where there's no next of kin could be found and no one claims the property. Those properties will be auctioned. So would a regular homeowner benefit from auctioning their house? Yes, there are a number of benefits actually. One is that you can control the sale of the house, your house. You would set a definite time frame, so you know that your house would sell by a certain date, the auction day. There's a possibility that your house will sell for even more than fair market value, depending on how it's marketed and the starting bid price. You can also set a minimum bid price or reserve price so that if the house doesn't meet those minimum prices at the auction, you don't have to sell it. Auctioning your house can also reduce the amount of hassle to you in selling your house, as you could limit the number of showings or open houses. This could actually create an air of exclusivity, which could work in your favor when auctioning your house. Most auction services will also require that prospective or interested buyers pre-register before the auction in advance, and also in that process pre-qualify, for instance with their preferred lender, or somehow show proof that you are a bona fide buyer, that you have the means to buy, which could mean that you have the cash or that you're qualified for a loan, pre-qualified or pre-approved I should say. Once you do get a winning bidder, a winning buyer from the auction, that should be a guaranteed sale. There's no contingencies typically in most auction terms. So once there is a winning buyer, that buyer is locked in to buy the house. Of course, there's no guarantee they will complete it, but any initial deposit that winning bidders are required to pay in the form of a cashier's check, usually about $5,000, that deposit is lost if the buyer cannot or does not complete the sale. So that's a great advantage of auctioning your house. Once you do get a buyer, a winning bidder, that sale should go through, as typically there are no contingencies. So all bidders should have conducted their due diligence prior to the auction, so they know exactly what they're buying if they should win the auction. So there are a few disadvantages to auctioning your house. One is that if for some reason the house doesn't sell at all, even after a second attempt, your house is probably going to be under some kind of exclusive listing with the auction service. And then depending on what they do, if the auctions are unsuccessful, your house could languish on the market. Another disadvantage is that buyers may be turned off by a competitive bidding situation and might not even be interested in buying your house because they know it's the only way to buy it is through auction. Well, hey, that's basically how auctioning a house works. For more details, check out the description below for a link to my blog post that goes a little more in-depth about it and the different ways you can actually sell your house. I hope you found that helpful. If you did, click like and share with a friend you know is interested in finding out about how auctioning a house works. This is Dale Shin, LA area realtor of Coldwell Banker Realty on the Sunset Strip. Have a good day, and I'll see you on the next one.